I am called to try to help because I've gone through that a lot, the low back stuff. So I'm gonna try to keep this brief. But one thing that you have already done is just to lie back, feet flat on mat, knees bent. You can even bring your feet as wide as the mat and knock your knees in towards one another if that feels even better for your low back, like creates more space. And you can even just hold this for a while, which you've probably already done. So again, you could just hold this, even sometimes if you want to like meditate in this position for like 20 minutes, that'll like redistribute the synovial fluid along your spine and create some space. Again, you're probably aware that this position helps a lot. Another position that's similar to that you could try if you have the stuff for it, which you can, finagle, do something a little bit of height for your feet. That could be a blanket, it could be a pillow, and then another, so I'm gonna use like a pillow for my feet. And then if you have a blanket like this, that would be ideal. But you can even just use like a towel so that it gets to be like this long. Then you would fold that into thirds, or again, just anything that's like gonna create this kind of thing. You're gonna come to feet together, bottoms of feet together, kind of like a Baddha Konasana or bound angle pose shape. And then that blanket roll or towel roll, like fold thing, is gonna go over ankles / base of shins and wrap around your calves. And it's gonna support, as you bring the knees out to the sides, it's gonna support your shins so that your hips have some support. You could maybe even put blocks underneath your thighs, that's another variation. And this little bit of height and support on your shins feels really good once you lie back. So you'll bring your hips as close or not as you'd like to that pillow and lie back. So again, the shins are supported on something so that your hips aren't like, too engaged or like stretching too much. And then your feet are a little elevated, and that should feel good too. So this is another posture that you could just hold rather than like an active stretch. So again, hold that for as long as feels comfortable, a couple of minutes, maybe like even longer, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just see what feels good to you. Your hips might start to like, speak to you a little bit if you stay here for long enough, so just at your discretion. Then active stretches that you can do. So I'll move this stuff out of the way. You'll come to lie down. From lying down, you can even do like this whole sequence all together, right? Like from lying down in your like, restorative position, whether it's knees bent or supported on those pillows, then you'll move into the stretches. So you can bring your knees in towards your chest. Try to keep your spine long for this. If you have a lot of back discomfort, that's probably already gonna happen, right? But I like to move the knees a little bit around in circles, like independently from one another, just to get into the hips a little bit. So do that for a couple of breaths. And then you can even rock side to side a little bit. As you rock side to side, you can go in a little circle along the low back. So a little circle getting into the muscles around the low back. Do that a couple of times and then go the other way. So alternating, if you'd like, between those circles and between the knees moving around independently for the hips. So just doing that, couple of breaths. And then Ekapada Apanasana, that means this posture but one leg at a time. So keep your right knee hugged in and extend your left leg out onto the mat. So any alternate limb stuff is going to be good for your low back. And if you've spoken to a doctor or like a PT, they'll probably have told you that, like bird dogs and this kind of thing. So extend through your left heel as you keep the right knee drawn in. Again, spine is long on the mat. And maybe the knee moves a little bit off to the side. Bring your awareness to the back of your pelvis, your low back, and just mentally sense that it's even on the mat. So you're not toppling over to the right. The sacrum is like even on the mat, right? So reach through left heel, draw right knee in. Hold that a couple of breaths. And from here, we can do a variation of Supta Padangusthasana, or like big finger to big toe variation. So see if you can extend the right leg up. It doesn't have to be all the way straight. See if you can extend it up, and see if you can interlace your hands behind your thigh. As you interlace the hands behind the thigh, you can even grab a strap or a towel around the thigh. As you do that, press the thigh into the hands or into the prop that you're using. So think of like lengthening the right hip away from your low belly, and breathe there. If you need to keep the left leg bent, foot flat on the mat, you could do that. And breathe. Breathing into the back of the leg. And then you'll gently switch. So hugging both knees into your chest, keep the left knee hugged in, extend right leg out. Again, back of pelvis is long. As you draw the left knee in, reach through the right heel. You can even think of the right inner thigh drawing down towards the mat, so it's not like angled to the side. It's that those right toes are pointed straight up. And again, you can draw the left knee away or like towards your shoulder, but keep the back of the pelvis even on the mat. And breathe. You can already start to think here of drawing the left hip away from your chest a little bit. Then moving into that more straight leg variation. So try to extend that left leg up to the ceiling, and either grabbing a prop like a strap or a towel around the thigh, or interlacing hands behind thigh. You'll start to press the thigh into the hands or the prop. So think of like lengthening that left hip away from your low belly, and keep drawing the right inner thigh towards the floor. So you can even think, if this makes sense, like drawing inner thighs, both inner thighs like back behind you, if that makes sense. It makes more sense when you're standing, but that action of inner thighs, like left inner thigh drawing away from you, right inner thigh drawing down. And breathe into the back of the leg. Okay, and then hug both knees into your chest again. And as you're probably aware, hip tightness can contribute to low back discomfort. So let's take a little thread the needle. You can cross your right ankle over left thigh, flex that foot a lot. You could choose to just stay right here and just press your right knee away from your chest. Or you can draw that left knee into your chest. Again, spine is long here, so prioritize that. You can interlace your hands behind the left thigh or maybe in front of the shin. I lately have been doing back of the thigh. That's what allows my spine to stay long, to like almost maintain the low curvature of your back. And you can keep drawing the right knee away from you, maybe even pressing the right knee away from you with your elbow. Breathing into the outer hip. And if you're super familiar with this pose, you might rock a little bit side to side, see what that feels like. Okay, gently release that, and we'll switch sides, planting both feet down, cross left ankle, flex that left foot, and see if one side might need something different. You could just press the left knee away from your chest. I already start to feel that. Or if you want to go deeper, you can draw the right knee in, picking up that right foot, interlacing behind right thigh or in front of shin, whatever allows your spine to be long. Breathing into the outer hip. Again, maybe you press the left knee away from you with your left elbow. And if it feels good to rock a little bit side to side, massaging the low back in a hip opener tends to feel pretty good, so hopefully that feels okay. And you'll gently release that, hugging both knees into your chest, and make your way up to a seat. Again, you don't have to roll up the way that I just did. You could just rock to your side and prop yourself up if that's better for your low back. And you'll come to all fours. So another thing that you certainly were told if you went to like a PT or a doctor is like these bird dog things, right? Opposite limb lifts, as I have called them in the past. So Knees a little closer together, your wrists are under your shoulders, you're spreading your fingers wide. Extend your right leg back behind you. You can't see my leg, but it's just to the height of my hips. I don't feel like you have to bring it up there. Oof, that feels like a lot for the low back. So just lengthening right heel back, height of hip, hug left hip in, extend left arm forward. So again, you're going for length rather than height. Low belly's lifting. Reach in both directions, like someone's gently pulling you back by that back heel. And you're lengthening the fingertips forward, just feeling that traction in the low back. On an exhale, bring the hand down and the shin down. You'll switch sides, left leg extends back, low belly lifts, hug right hip in and extend right arm forward. Again, lengthen through the low back. And same thing when you were lying down. Can the inner left thigh draw up towards the ceiling? Low belly keeps lifting, lengthen in both directions, and exhale, bring the hand down and the shin down. So that's another exercise that you can start to connect with your breath and do a couple of rounds of. So extend right leg, extend left arm, inhale, exhale, bring it down. Then extend right arm, left leg, reach, and exhale, bring it down. And you'll repeat that like another, at least like 4 times. I had a PT recommend like even more than that. So just, do as many as feels good to you. And then you mentioned psoas, which you are so right on. That psoas is directly connected to your low back. So for that, I'm trying to think of an easy way to do this. You could just step your right foot forward. Again, if your back is super sensitive though, that might not feel very good. So if you have blocks, you could put your hand on blocks instead, just to elevate yourself a little bit, and then step your right foot forward. Just coming into that low lunge, try to step the back knee back a little bit, and just pause in that psoas zone. Low belly is lifting. Think of kind of pressing into the right heel to lift your low belly some. And breathe. Maybe if you feel stable, you can bring your hands to your thigh. I like this variation because I think of hands pressing the thigh kind of away from me to lift the low belly and lengthen the tail down. And even here, you can think inner thighs draw back. And breathe. And if you want to bring more length to this and you feel stable to do so, you could extend the arms up towards the ceiling. I know you can't see my arms all the way, but you get the idea. You could also make this a little bit of a side bend. Grab onto your left forearm with your right hand, poke the ceiling with your left fingertips, and then side bend towards the right. So you're adding more stretch to the side body, like the fingertips are connected to that hip that's opening. It's not for everyone, so give yourself what you need. And again, you can take it, you can just pause at any stage of this. Okay, and then let's walk that foot back, and you can hold that for as long as you'd like. I would say at least 30 seconds per stretch. Step the left foot forward, move the back knee back. If that back knee is sensitive, pat it with something obvi. Trying to be as high up towards the thigh on that back knee should help with any knee discomfort. You don't want to be on the kneecap. You want to be above that. Your left knee is over the ankle. And already here, then drawing inner thighs back as you descend deep into that right psoas. And you've probably experienced like the right psoas tends to be tighter than the left, especially for the drivers, right? Because your right foot is that hip flexor is doing a lot when you drive. So that tends to be the reason that the right is tighter than the left. And then again, take this in stages, and it doesn't have to be the same on each side. Low belly lifts, lengthen tail down. If your hands are on the thigh, press it away. So your body, your upper body is nice and upright. You don't have to do this. You don't have to lunge with your upper body. Just lunge in the leg and think of being upright in your torso. If you feel stable, extend the arms up just to add a little bit more length. If you want to add the side bend, grab onto right forearm and then side bend towards the left. Low belly lifts, lengthen tail down. holding that as long as feels comfortable. That's probably a good amount of time though. You can bring the hands down, come onto all fours. Move the blocks out of the way. And I think that's all I'm going to share for right now. You've probably also been told that like core strength helps to support your low back. We hear that all the time, and it's like, I have a strong core. You might have a strong core already, so it's like, I don't need to hear that. But if you feel like you need to strengthen your core, then you'll do like, you know, just standard ab work. I could show you stuff like that, but I feel like you're fine. But that could help. I'm debating whether to show some core stuff or not. If you want core stuff, let me know and I'll send you core stuff. But I'll leave you with that. Like the bird dogs, the psoas stretch, the lying down, those are hopefully gonna help a lot.